wife, 2 kids. Ours will easily get up to 1,800 parts per million. Now, the research on this stuff has done experiments where they take people up to like 3,000. Okay, so can I make a strong claim that if you're at 1,100 parts per million, it's really going to screw up your sleep? Well, I don't think so. But now we're playing a game of like, the studies have gone to the extreme. And what they will see is a huge reduction of sleep quality, both subjective and objective. So actually measured on like a PSG system or similar, as well as subjects saying like, I did not sleep well last night. Next day, cognitive function, memory, reaction time, sleepiness, wakefulness, next day executive function, decision-making at work. All this stuff is significantly, and when I say significant here, I want to make sure I'm saying not only like research statistically significant, but of a magnitude that matters to your life, right? So it's both clinically relevant and statistically significant. So we're seeing real reductions in sleep quality. In fact, there's a thing called something to do with like a building sickness, where people like they have headaches and they feel like brain fog and all that stuff because they're in large like apartment buildings and the quality of the air gets so low. And by that, I specifically am referring to CO2, that they feel these issues. And once they get CO2 out of the room, then this building sickness thing goes away. So if you're in that situation and that starts to rise and it does get up to 22,000 or 2,500, which is not that crazy, you're absolutely going to see reductions in sleep quality. Sleep onset, again, which is a time, it's called latency, the time it takes you to fall asleep, waking events, disturbances, and then next day, sleepiness, wakefulness, and cognitive function will be compromised, certainly up to 3,000 to 3,500 parts per million. What happens at 2,000? I don't know. Like, again, we need more research. Like, where is the exact line that starts to matter? I do know you get up that high, it starts to matter. And that number is not crazy, especially for people who close their door.
Yeah, I was just thinking, damn.
Right? People who live in apartment buildings or hotels where they can't control. People that live in environments where they can't open up their windows because it's too hot or too cold or rainy, or the air quality is really poor, or whatever the case is. So if that happens, a couple of steps you can take. One, you're not going to do, because I don't do it either, which is don't have your dog in the room. I have 2 dogs and they sleep right on the end of my bed. Like not on my bed, but on the floor below it. So that's out of the question. But making sure you have a lot of ventilation in your room. If you can and you want to use a fan in your room, that's fine. Don't make it too loud. If you want to download, there's all kinds of apps you can download on your phone that allow you to measure the decimals of noise. Keep it under 35. 35 decibels. Same thing, by the way, if you're using like a white noise machine. White noises will actually compromise sleep quality. They'll make it worse if they're too loud. The other thing to do is if you can get away with having your doors and windows open during times of the day where you can at least let that clear out a little bit. And then if you can shut them, even if you can open up for half an hour or something like that, all those steps will help manage CO2. That's just CO2. We haven't even gotten into the other stuff in your